Hello and welcome to another edition of Metropolitan Sports Radio. So, very exciting. The Mets clinched their first NL East Division champion and their first postseason berth since 2006 today, this morning, Hong Kong time. I woke up early just for it, and it's the first time they clinched since '06, which is the third longest drought in all of baseball. And I'll hand it over to my dad, see what he wants to say about it.
Yep, really exciting day today, huh, Jamie? Mets finally did it. We knew it was going to happen, but Mets seem to be doing their best to give the thing away during the homestand, but they've really come alive of late. The only member of the 2006 squad with the Mets still is David Wright, the captain. And some people were worried about his career earlier this year. Seemed like his back might be an injury, career-ending injury, but he's come back really strong over the last month, batting a robust 307 now, I think. And I think it was fitting that he put the icing on the cake today, hitting a three-run home run in the ninth inning, which put the game way out of reach. It was already 7-2, but his three-run shot in the ninth made it 10-2. Lucas Duda riding a hot streak finally at the right time. He hit a grand slam in the first inning. He has driven in 12 runs now in the last three games, so he's really coming hot at the right instant. Terry Collins today played his lefties. The Mets are 99% chance to play the Dodgers in the first round, and as you may know, the Dodgers actually have three lefties pitchers out of their four top starters in the rotation. So the Mets, as a preview for that series, they'll have, of course, Kershaw and Alex Wood and Brian Anderson, all lefties. So instead of going with a righty strong lineup, which he had been in previous matchups with lefties, Collins today left Duda in there. He had Murphy go, and it paid off. They all had multi-hit games. So
I think why Terry Collins did this today was because he wanted his starters in. He knew he had a chance to clinch. So he wanted his starters in playing today. His regular starters, that's why, he had LaGarrison also playing center field. All starters were in, and so they could all celebrate.
I think it was telling also, even with a 10-3 lead, Collins had Familia come in and close the game out because he felt that Familia deserved to be on the mound. Contrast this with Matt Williams, who made a big mistake again yesterday when Jordan Zimmerman, pitching probably his last game for the Washington Nationals as he's a free agent next year, and probably the best pitcher the Nationals have had in a long time, was not given a chance to be given an ovation by the home crowd. He was substituted by a pinch hitter, so he didn't even get a proper send-off. So I think that's probably indicative of difference in the two managers and how they are conscious of their players' egos. Other big story tonight, Matt Harvey. Apparently he went to Terry Collins a few days ago and told him, I want full load tonight. I want to go the whole way. So Terry kept that under wraps. There was a hint of it yesterday when Noah Syndergaard said that we have our horse Harvey going today, so he likes his chances. He likes our chances. I didn't really know what he meant by that because I think, along with everyone else, we thought that Harvey would be pitching sort of 4 innings, maybe 5, and looking forward to another fiasco like the Yankees game where Harvey pitched 5 perfect innings only to be taken out in a 1-0 game, and the Mets imploded afterwards. But Harvey decided that he wanted to stay in today, and he ended up pitching 6 2/3, great innings. Just got in trouble in the second inning, gave up 2 earned runs, but otherwise was fantastic. Came out with 2 outs in the 7th to secure the win. What do you think of that, Jamie?
Matt Harvey. He had a big smile today when he came off the mound. Unlike in New York when he was taken out after 5. He has 183 innings now pitched. Wow. It really seems like he wants to pitch in the postseason, and really, um, Scott Boras is he's terrible. He only wants money, and I highly doubt that it was Dr. Andrews that had that suddenly imposed his pitching limit. And I think Matt Harvey was sort of forced by his agent to say those words.
I think Harvey's also seen the reaction from the fans, from his teammates, and he's probably a little bit embarrassed, especially after the last Yankees game. And so he was ready to go today. So I'm happy for him because it really is. Oh, Jamie, why don't you go ahead?
Well, Matt Harvey today pitched a gem. He really is the Mets' big time pitcher. And I think, a lot can be said about DeGrom. We'll see how he rebounds his next outing out. That can really that can sort of judge what the Mets will have in the playoffs and who they'll have starting game 1 and 6.
So do you think Harvey pitches the rest of the regular season, Jamie? There are, 8 games left?
I don't think so.
No.
I think that they'll just rest Harvey the rest of the way through. I think it depends on home field advantage and how important that is to them, right?
Yeah, interestingly, Dodgers lost today, so the Mets actually are ahead of the Dodgers by half a game. So if the season ended today, we would have home field advantage, which Terry Collins has always said important against the Dodgers since they're on the West Coast and the shadows when they start the games at 4 are a lot worse for the hitters. So facing Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw with those shadows would be tough for the Mets. Although, honestly, the Mets, with their relying on their starting pitching also, wouldn't be easy for the Dodgers to bat either in the shadows. So that might be a wash. We'll see.
Before we talk about that, the Mets clinched today. I'll talk about the 5 previous times the Mets have clinched the NL East.
Okay.
1969 was September 24th. Mets 6, Cardinals nothing. They were in the midst of winning 38 of 49 games to end the season. So, knocked Steve Carlton out the game in the first inning at Shea. And Joe Torre grounded into the game-ending double play.
Yeah.
Miracle Mets 69. 1973, the Mets clinched October 1st. That's pretty late in the season. Mets beat the Cubs 6-4. The only previous time the Mets clinched the division on the road was in 1973. So everything else was clinched at home. They played at Wrigley Field and they beat the Cubs. Tug McGraw got the last 9 outs of the game, and he preserved Tom Seaver's 19th win of the year. 1986, September 17th, Mets beat the Cubs again 4-2 at Shea Stadium. They lost 4-5 on the road. Sound familiar, Mets fans? Except and Keith Hernandez, who had a bad cold, went 3 for 4 with 3 singles and 2 RBIs. Keith Hernandez was in the booth today.
And appropriate, who got the win? Who got the win on that one?
Dwight Gooden. Who got the win today? Matt Harvey. So, we'll see. 1988, September 22nd, Mets 3, Phillies 1. Ron Darling was a complete game winner in this one. He's normally in the booth with Keith, but not today. I'm sure he's bummed about it. And then 2006, most recent postseason appearance, September 18th, Mets 4, Marlins nothing. They got the sweep on the road in Pittsburgh and then waited to clinch until they got back to Shea. Contest was a shutout, and the Mets won. So they clinched again, and since 06 they've not made the playoffs. Big collapses in 07 and 08, and this year no collapse, thankfully. And back to this thing that about home field advantage. The Mets have been, just the first half and second half, it's been a complete 180 degrees in every aspect. A 180 degrees flip. The Mets, I think, have played a lot better on the road than they have at Citi Fields in the second half. So, do they want home field advantage?
That's a good question. It kind of matches the personalities of the stadiums, of course. Citi Field being a big pitcher's park, and the Mets relying on their dominant starting pitching in the first half of the year. And since the trade deadline, the Mets being one of the hottest hitting teams in the majors, I think they've set a new record. In fact, I read somewhere for teams scoring 3 or more runs on the road in consecutive games. And the Mets have, I think the streak is still going on. So, great streak. So, relying on their hitting and particularly in big hitters' parts, they've come up really big. Whether it's Citizens Ballpark in Philadelphia, Coors Field, and today in with their win.
The other funny thing is, the Mets being